I wanted to write an if statement that will check both of those variables. So I could write an if statement that's like, if they're male and they're tall, or if they're male and they're not tall, or if they're not male and they're tall. Like, I could write out a bunch of if statements to check the combination of these variables. The way I can do that is by using one of two keywords. So the first keyword I want to show you guys is the or keyword. So I can come over here and I can say if is male or is underscore tall. And what this is basically going to do is it's going to say if the person is either male or if they're tall, then we want to do something. So this is only going to be true when one of these values is true, when one or both of those values is true. So down here we could actually put, instead of you are a male, we could put you are a male or tall or both. That's going to be more appropriate. And then down here we would say you are neither male nor tall. And that's because if we execute the code inside of this else, that means that both of these guys are false, right? So I'm saying if they're male or they're tall, we're going to execute whatever is in here. Otherwise, that means they're neither male nor tall. We're just going to execute this down here. So let me show you guys how this works. I'll click play, and these are both true. So it's going to say you are a male or tall or both. If I was to set one of these to false, so let's set is male equal to false. Now it's still going to say you are a male or tall or both. But if I set both equal to false, now it's going to say you're neither male nor tall. So that's kind of the basics of using the or operator. And there's another operator we can use which is called and. And basically it's similar to or, except both of these conditions have to be true. So this is basically saying if the person is male and they're also tall, then we're going to execute whatever's in here. So we could actually change this text to say you are a tall male, because we know for a fact that if this is getting executed, they're both male and tall. We can also change this print statement down here. This could say you are either not male or not tall or both. So you can see it's basically just saying that you're either not one of them or you're not both of them. So we click the play button and you'll see because they're both false, it's going to say you are either not male or not tall or both. But if I make them both true, now it's going to say you are a tall male. If I was going to make one of these false though, so let's make is tall false, now it's not going to execute this first print statement, it's going to execute the one inside of the else. So it'll say you are either not male or not tall or both. So that's the basics of and or, and you'll be using those a lot as you use your if statements. But there's actually one more thing we can do. We can add in some more conditions. So up here I'm checking if they're male and they're tall, but what if I wanted to check if they're male and they're not tall? So if they're like a short male. I can use another keyword in Python called elseif, or really it's just typed out ELIF, and it stands for if. And after this we can put another condition. So over here, I'm going to check to see if they're male and they're not tall. So I'm going to say else if male is male, and now I can type in not tall. And the way I can do that is by saying not and open and close parentheses and saying is tall. And basically when I use this not function, it's going to negate whatever is inside of here. So if this was true, it's going to make it false. And if this was false, it's going to make it true. So basically that'll tell us whether or not they're tall. And then I'm going to use a colon, and now down here, inside of here, we're basically just going to type out any of the code that we want to happen when this condition's true. So down here we can just print out you are a short male. And there's actually one more condition that we want to check for, which would be if they're not male and they're tall. So we can make one more else if, and I'm actually just going to copy this guy and we'll paste it down here. And so I want to say if not is male and is tall. So now we're checking to see if they're male and or if they're not male and they're tall. So here we could say you are not a male but are tall. So essentially here we have an if statement that's going to cover every single condition for these two variables. So in every single situation of the two values of these variables, we're going to be able to print something out for it. So